was it worth it going to college, going to university for me? So I don't use my university degree with what I do, how I make my income out here. As you guys know, is I work online. I have several websites, and I do, I make my money off of my websites and my internet presence. And what I did in college was I started out when I was in community college. I knew I wanted to do something in psychology, but none of the career paths really seemed very exciting to me. I remember for a while I was like, I'm going to be a marriage and family therapist. And then by the time I was done with my 2 years in community college, I was thinking damn, that doesn't sound very fun, hearing about people's marital problems or some shit. And I was already thinking nah, I'm not doing that anymore, but I still really liked psychology. So anyways, I transferred to University of California shortly after that. And that's where I got my psychology bachelor's degree. And while I was there too, I was thinking the same thing. I remember feeling scared my senior year, my last year in college, because I was thinking to myself, what's next? How am I going to go from this to the next phase? Because I knew I liked being a student, kind of. I mostly just liked the freedom. I hated taking tests and studying, and I didn't like a lot of the things that I learned. I liked to just learn on my own. I didn't like to learn in class. I didn't really like to listen to the teacher's lectures too much. I basically just like to learn on my own. And really, as far as what I learned in the classroom, basically as far as what I learned in the classroom, no, I don't think it was worth it going to college, because I really didn't learn anything doing that I couldn't just learn on my own. What was worth going to college was the social maturation that I had. So matured a shit ton socially, because when you're thrown into a group of thousands of people like that, and you have to learn how to navigate through the groups, you're exposed to social hierarchies and shit like that, because there's a lot of politics in university, and especially in Greek life, there's a lot of social politics. So I joined a fraternity in university, and I think that that's actually a good idea. There's definitely positives and negatives of being in a fraternity, being a part of Greek life, but what it does do, and this is the reason to join, is it gives you access to things that you do not have access to otherwise. And those are pretty important things to have access to, like the kind of social events and the kind of elite tier of social circle that you are automatically included in at the university once you're a member of Greek life. Because in university, people are, they still are by group identity. They're not really to that phase yet where they're, thinking about an individual identity. It's more of they still want to fit in, right? It's kind of a held over from high school. They're still doing that in college. And so when you end up getting into that social group, those elite social groups, it just gives you opportunities that otherwise you will not have. And I mean, I would do it again, and I would recommend anyone to do it again because of that. Also, it gives you opportunity to be around and understand the minds of those people that are, in those top social group tiers. And also, since there's a lot of, those are powerful people socially at your school, the people who are running the fraternities, the sororities, the Greek life and stuff. And you're around these people that are maybe they aren't always the most academically intelligent, but socially they are very intelligent, and a lot of them are very, they're able to influence others. And when you're a member of that, and you're exposed to that all the time, and you're trying to find your place in that group, the amount of social skill development that you can attain is seriously life-changing. That was really where I went from being a part of Greek life in university. Was really where I went from just having just completely average social skills. I mean, back then, I probably, before that, I probably didn't feel 100% comfortable going up and talking to someone I didn't know and just having a conversation that would just go on indefinitely, like I am now. I might think like, oh, well, like, what are we going to talk about? Or like, maybe it'll be awkward or something, like, right? Like, so those kind of things just ended as a result of the massive social exposure that I got from being a part of Greek life, really. And also being in the minds of being around those kids that are also highly social, highly socially intelligent. It rubs off. It rubs off. You learn from them, and you learn these social skills that are hard to get. Because, I mean, where are you going to find a concentration of people who basically, I mean, most people in Greek life are just, they're so consumed with their social lives. That's all they think about. It's all they do. They do study a lot usually, but usually the social life is the most important thing in their life. And, they've been practicing that their whole lives, their social skills. And a lot of them have elite social skills. And there's really not many other places in your life where you're going to get exposed to that and be a part of that group and be of elite social skills people and be able to learn from people, from being around people, being in their social group, where you're going to learn social skills that are going to life-changing social skills. You may not like those people because a lot of them, they're pretentious, douchebags, assholes, whatever, but they do have elite tier social skills. And it's, at a formative age, when you're in your early 20s, late teens, and you're able to have an opportunity to be around these people and be a part of their life, be a part of their social circle, and you can learn social skills that will benefit you for the rest of your life at one of the most crucial and formative times of your life. And that alone, to me, made the skills that I acquired from that made going to college and university worth it.
So at the end of university, my senior year, I felt really scared at the end because I realized that my degree and what I had learned in college didn't prepare me for the upcoming job market, that I was going to have an incredibly hard time getting a job, getting a high-paying job, being able to support myself whatsoever in the Bay Area in California. And I felt like, either way, even if I did, that I was basically going to be slaving away, and it was going to be, total hell working for someone else's dream. And, I just felt like, fuck, man, like, I didn't really even want to graduate. I wanted to stay in college just because of, like, the safety that it provided me of being a student, and the lifestyle of that, and the fact that I didn't have to go out and compete in the job market, which looked very, very bleak, and I knew that my university degree had not prepared me to be able to compete in that job market or to be able to find a high-paying job. And that was why a month and a half before I graduated, I took the steps to start my own businesses online. I first got into that, And from then on, for the next, I think 7 months from then until I ended up in Thailand, it was building those and getting them going. While I was working as marketing in marketing for a protein bar company, but it was in preparation. I was doing that in preparation in the meantime while I was getting my shit up and running, because working for the protein bar company was making a lot of money, but it was killing me inside. It was killing me inside because I was working my ass off for someone else's dream, and the money was great, but I was like working myself to the bone, and it was for nothing more than cash. By the way, the reason why I was making a lot of money with the protein bar company was not because college had given me this great degree that made me get the job. It was because of the social skills and the sales skills that I had learned from being a part of the organizations that I was in, the social organizations that I was in while I was attending the university, not what I learned in the classroom.
The college education I could have learned on the internet. So what I learned in class and shit like that, I could have learned it on the internet. So I do not believe that the information that I got from textbooks and from lectures, that I don't believe that was worth it, because obviously going to university costed many thousands of dollars, and so I don't believe that shit that I could have learned on the internet or whatever was worth it. However, the diploma that I now have is social proof that I'm have a higher education certificate, and the world in general respects that. And so look, there's a lot of jobs that you can get if you have a college education, or just the impression that you give when you want to get a job, because that's really what college is good for. I mean, you don't need it to be an entrepreneur. You certainly don't need it to start your own thing or be an entrepreneur. But if you want to work for someone else, it really definitely boosts your status. It gives you some social proof of that you are educated and that you were able to complete something. So, for example, here in Thailand, you can be an English teacher and you can earn $1,000 a month or more doing that if you have any kind of bachelor's degree from a university. If you do not have a bachelor's degree from a university, you cannot do that. And I know that you think, oh, $1,000, that's not shit. Well, in Thailand, that's shit. In Thailand, that's a very livable wage, and it's way more than the average person here makes. The average starting police officer salary here is about $300 per month. So it does that in a foreign country. So that would be one advantage of, having the social proof of having a university diploma. You can just use it. It just gives you this social proof of you completed something, you have higher education, and the world, the people in the world, the institutions that hold power respect that. And it can help you get a job if you want to work for someone else. I mean, there's no doubt about that. If you have somebody who has completed college and somebody that doesn't, and they have an even skill set, who are you going to take? You're going to take the person who completed college. It's not even a question. So yeah, if you want to work for someone, I mean, that alone as well would be a good reason to go. So, in conclusion, for me, I'm not good at working for other people. I'm only good at working for myself because I have too much. I'm way too independent, and I'm way too, I'm headstrong. I'm headstrong, And, you know, my path in this life is to carve my own way, to be the one who starts the business, to, you know, be an entrepreneur, be the person who is starting the business and working for my dream, not someone else's dream. So for me, the education that I got from university, and I mean, no, it wasn't worth it. It wasn't worth it. But the social skills that I gained from being in Greek life and university is invaluable. And I would not trade that for anything, because I could not have acquired those social skills any other place. The rate at which my social skills started to develop once I joined Greek life was like a rocket ship going straight into the air. It was unlimited. And I know it totally was formative of what I'm doing now, because now I understand people so much better. I understand social hierarchies and just the way that shit works, the way that these people who have a lot of mental power over other people function. And I can function within them and within those groups. And for me, that was worth it. That was worth going to university and going to college. The diploma and shit probably wasn't worth the money, to be honest. But like I said, the social skills that I gained from going to college were worth it. And yeah, I would say going to college and university was worth it for me, because I joined Greek life. Dan from bodybuilderinthailand.com.